ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive.
It is Wednesday, August 19th. Your drive begins now on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. Our text line, brought to you by Clark's Pump and Chop, is now open at 304-396-TALK. That is 304-396-8255. Coming up today on the program, Andrew Brown is joining us. He's Senior Associate Director of Athletics, Capital Projects, and Championships Facilities. He's got a big title. And, of course, he's also handling a few other sports as well. He's going to join us on the program in just a few minutes. Marshall's got this really interesting initiative coming up that you might not be familiar with. So Andrew's going to tell us more about the details. But just to give you the surface information, on August 22nd between 9 and 11 a.m., that's coming up in a few days, you've got an opportunity to get tickets. If you want tickets to go see the Herd take on South Alabama and you don't have them just yet, or maybe you want some extra, so you can get a crew together, and it's called Taking Care of the House. This is Marshall's initiative. And really what this is all about is, and the way it was described to me in these words, giving Jones C. Edwards Stadium a little extra love before the season gets underway. So Saturday, August 22nd, 9 to 11 a.m., Jones C. Edwards Stadium, and there's going to be some projects throughout the stadium. You're welcome to join and volunteer. If you volunteer, you will get a free ticket to go see the Herd on October 20th, face off against South Alabama. Now, I don't know what the details will be, how you can help, what projects are going to look like. So Andrew is going to outline all of that for us. The one thing that I was told, hey, will you hit this as well? Stress this, coffee and donuts will be waiting. So if you're into coffee and donuts in the morning, this is where you get your coffee, your donuts. Go out, spruce up Jones C. Edwards Stadium, projects around that need just a little extra muscle, a little TLC, little detail work, whatever the project may be. And there's going to be power washing as well. Yes, power washing, some other things happening. Andrew's going to outline all of that for us, so we're looking forward to talking to him. That's coming up in the next few minutes, but until then, get those texts lined up now, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255, to be a part of today's show here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Baseball action. Here's what we got for you. The game earlier today, the Pirates got the win over the Tigers 4-3. Mets got the win over the Padres 4-2. The Braves and the Twins, it was a 6-4 win for the Twins, and the White Sox got the victory over the Cubs 3-0. In the bottom of the fourth, it is the Diamondbacks trailing the Red Sox 2-0. Cardinals and Reds, that's coming up tonight, 6:40. Also, Marlins and Phillies at 6:05. Yankees and Orioles at 6:35. Then the Giants and the Guardians, that's coming up tonight, 6:40. And to round things out, as far as we're concerned, probably the only other one we're really interested in is the Nationals and the Rangers, and that's coming up at 8:05. So that's a quick look at the scoreboard for baseball. And, of course, we've got you covered the rest of the way with baseball season getting close to its conclusion. Football season's about to ramp up. We've got high school football coming up as well. A lot of action going on. State of Kentucky gets everything underway. I mean, in the next few days, we've got the Ashland Tomcats that are coming up. We're going to have those games on our sister station, 97.9 The River. So if you're an Ashland Tomcats fan, you're listening to the show. First game coming up, 7 o'clock on Friday at Raceland. Big rivalry game there. So we will have you covered with Cabell Midland, Spring Valley. We've got Huntington High on our digital stream as well for all the home games. Big schedule of games coming up for West Virginia. Everything getting underway. The schools that we carry starting on August 28th. Looking forward to that. And of course, you know what that means as well. You start running down to the newsstand. For those of you that don't take the paper, you got to get the football tabs, right? Got to get those football schedules, those football publications, all of that. So the football tabs are almost upon us here. I always love going to pick it up. I go to the convenience store, gas station, wherever, because I don't take the paper, and I would go buy that. That would be the edition I would buy. I try to get all the area newspapers, football tabs. So it's a little harder these days to kind of just go physically get all of those. You know how newspapers are. But it's a fun time. I mean, honestly, it's that one day of the year you get the football tab, you start looking through. And, of course, I think the Internet's kind of killed the fun of that just a little bit, because you can just Google and search everything now. But I always found it was fun to get that football tab and look at all the hard work that everyone had done, especially locally here around the Herald Dispatch coverage area. That was always fun. So a shout out to those guys. Let's get your text in a few minutes, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255 to be a part of today's show here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Metro Community Federal Credit Union now brings you all the tech that big banks have, but still has that personal touch of a member-owned community credit union. Apple Pay? Got it. Digital wallet? Yep. Message pay by text, online loan payments, even chatting with a real person, not a bot. Open accounts, sign documents, and manage your money all online. It's the big bank tech you need from the local community-minded credit union you trust. Metro Community FCU. Visit metrocommunityfcu.com today.
No matter where you are in life, Mount West Community and Technical College isn't just about an education. It's a step toward your future. We provide the hands-on support you need with classes that fit your life. At Mount West, we know you by name because here, you're more than just a number. Mount West Community and Technical College, because you matter here. Visit mctc.edu to apply today.
Save big on everything for your next project when you shop at Menards. White elastomeric roof coating stops leaks and restores flat roofs. It lowers roof temperature by reflecting heat from the sun, helping you save on energy costs. And it's easy to apply with a brush, roller, or sprayer. Shop our entire selection of roof coatings today on Menards.com. Plus, check our weekly flyer for all of the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
For 70 years, the Humane Society of the United States has worked to end animal cruelty. Now, we're continuing that mission as Humane World for Animals. We're working around the globe to care for animals who are suffering today. And we tackle the root causes of cruelty for a kinder tomorrow. We bring big ideas, bold action, knowing that together we can make a difference. We're building a humane world where wild animals stay wild and protected, where farmed animals no longer suffer, and no animals are used in experiments, where our companions are cared for throughout their lives. We are Humane World for Animals, driving global change for the end of animal cruelty. Help make change for animals. Visit humaneworld.org.
Hi, this is Dave Wilson, host of Metro News Talk Line, and you're listening to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Thank you, Dave. Don't forget, coming up tomorrow, 10:06 it is, Metro News Talk Line. Dave Wilson and TJ Meadows right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Our text line is brought to you by Clarkson Pump and Shop, and we're going to get that going in just a few minutes. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. But first, I want to welcome back to the program. There's an interesting initiative going on at Marshall University here on Saturday. Andrew Brown's joining us, the Senior Associate Director of Athletics, Capital Projects, and Championship Facilities, joins us now on the program. I still don't think that title covers every single thing you do. I don't want to speak for others, but I think you're the busiest guy on campus.
Yeah, that's a stretch.
Who's busier than you? Who? Okay, A.D. Harrison. Other than that, who's busier than you?
Oh, man, there's a lot of people in our department that put in a lot of hours, but that's part of the job, and that's why we love it. So it's an exciting time of year.
Yeah, you've got this. This is really interesting. I saw this a couple of days ago, and I'm glad that you came up as today's guest because it's called Taking Care of the House. It's going to be on Saturday, 9 to 11 a.m. And Ryan Chris made sure I knew that, hey, tell people coffee and donuts will be waiting for everyone. But really, the big ticket item here is that if you volunteer to be a part of this event, you'll get a game ticket to go see Marshall take on South Alabama. So exactly what are you looking for when it comes to taking care of the house? Are you looking for people to sweep, do some light cleaning? What are some of the projects that maybe fans can expect to help out with on this Saturday?
Yeah, a little bit of everything. So this idea came from Gerald himself. Taking care of the house is a phrase that we hear a lot from him. Taking care of the house in terms of how we maintain our facilities, in terms of making sure they're recruit ready for anytime we have a donor, a fan, a recruit, a potential student athlete, a current student athlete coming through our spaces. And so the initiative really was kind of, the university does a community cares week each year, and we thought it could be cool to do something similar ahead of the football season at the stadium. It's a venue that a lot of people enjoy coming to and take a lot of pride in, so why not give them an opportunity to get their hands dirty and do the same thing. I think from a project standpoint on Saturday, we have a couple of different projects we're looking for people to tackle. In recent years, we've painted the bleachers in our student section Kelly green so that it kind of sticks out and the students have a pretty clear understanding of where we'd like them to sit. So we've got about 100 rows of bleachers that we need to paint. So we'll have all the tools and paint and everything ready to go for folks to hop on that project. We have mulch beds everywhere that we need to weed and clean up. We've had a lot of construction and upgrades going on in our suite levels here at the stadium over the summer. And so general cleanup, dusting, cleaning windows, things of that nature. So a lot of there's no shortage of work to be done. So hopefully anybody that wants to come out and help us out, we'll have a good time, have a donut and a cup of coffee and enjoy making the place look a little better.
Yeah, I was going to ask you as far as what kind of projects these were. I was just sitting there thinking just in the back of my head, okay, these aren't the kind of projects that you got to be worried about. Okay, are these people going to hurt themselves? This is basically what it says. We're taking care of the house. We're making this place, as you said, great line, recruit ready. So I'm sure there'll be a little heavy lifting, but it's not as if we're doing major renovations. At least with these folks, they're helping you do all the things that you just need a little bit more, manpower for.
Yeah, exactly. A little TLC for the stadium, and stuff that we're going to have to do one way or another. So if people want to pitch in and give a little bit of love back to the herd, we're excited to have them here, and we can use every hand on deck that we can get.
Supervision, of course, everything you possibly need will be provided. Now, does anyone need to sign up for this, or is it just show up and be ready to go?
Yeah, there is a sign-up link on our website that Ryan and the external team put together that can be found off of Herd Zone. But I mean, if people show up the day of, we're not going to turn them away. We'll sign them up, get them access to their ticket for the game on Tuesday night in October, and we'll put them to work.
Now, is this going to be a one-time yearly event, or are you looking for maybe many events if this is successful to do it more than just once?
Yeah, I think for sure. We have an opportunity anytime we're kicking off a new season at one of our venues to do this. So this will be round one, and it sounds like it's going to be a success. I know we have a good amount of folks that have signed up already. I think Ryan told me we were over 50, closing in on 60 folks that had signed up. So yeah, I don't see any reason why we wouldn't continue to do it. Like I said, there's no shortage of projects and tasks that we can come up with that need to be done in any of our venues. So I would imagine we'll keep it going.
I'm sure you would know better than I would. Is this something that is kind of unique to Marshall University right now, having a lot of community volunteers come in and try to help keep the football facility maintained and maybe move on to other projects as well. I'm sure at high school level that kind of stuff happens with the community, but Marshall loves to pride itself on this is one big family, one big community. So is this kind of unique for the college level?
Yeah, I think so. I haven't seen it a lot at a lot of different places, but like you mentioned, we have a unique community and an awesome fan base that really cares, and people enjoy the opportunity to get to see something they might not ordinarily see, right? Like some people might not have tickets to the Sky Suite, or some people may not have ever ventured into certain areas of the stadium because they just come in and go to the same spot they go to every game. So giving people a little behind the scenes access and a little pride in what they're doing for us, I think people are going to enjoy it.
Andrew Brown is with us. The event is taking care of the house. The details, if you want to sign up early, available at herdzone.com. There will be free donuts and coffee. If you are showing up bright and early, you'll be taken care of. You get a ticket. Every volunteer gets a ticket to the South Alabama game. That's a definite perk here. And as we alluded to earlier, there are a lot of projects going on at Jones C. Edwards Stadium, and it's constant. It's not just they just do everything and then we'll sit back and, hey, we're happy with our work. There's always something going on, or at least in the plans. And the one thing that I always hear, you always hear, and you got to get it on the schedule. You can't just do this, on a whim, but you've got the power washing going on. I know Gerald's big on making sure the facilities look great. You're big on that as well. So we can just tell everybody now, relieve them of the stress. The stadium's getting power washed.
Yeah, it is. It's something that we'd love to do it annually, honestly, but it's something that our staff actually takes on, and they started really right after the spring game. And so we've been pressure washing the entire inner bowl of the stadium, and then we're about to finish that up, and then they'll work their way into the concourse itself. So pretty much every inch of this place will have been power washed from April 13th until September 11th. So we should have the place looking really good. I mean, that among a number of different projects that we tackled this summer. I think wherever folks go in the stadium this summer, they're going to see, from an aesthetic standpoint, a major improvement and a clear investment in taking care of the house, making it look and feel a certain way with the same type of branding, the same type of graphics, clean, Marshall, green, white, black. And so I think it'll be very noticeable and obvious that we put a lot of emphasis on that this summer.
Andrew Brown is with us. A lot of things happening at Jones C. Edwards Stadium. So what are some of the projects, maybe you can go into a little bit more detail, that you're ready to talk about that fans can expect? You mentioned, of course, the just freshening it up, and it always is great to see something happening, something new every year. What are you most excited about, or what are you most excited for the fans to kind of really get to see or eventually get to see?
Yeah, I think the most obvious one, and one that people will be really excited about, is our new LED lighting at the stadium. We were fortunate to get a substantial gift from the new family, which provided us with state-of-the-art LED lights. We'll have the ability to do all sorts of light shows. We can do all the different colors. We'll have songs that go with light shows, and our creative team and Ryan and Matt Lewis and Evan Williamson, those folks over in the external department, are already in there developing different shows and what's going to happen when the national anthem happens, what's going to happen when we score a touchdown, what's going to happen when we win, right? So that element will be very clear and obvious. The difference in the way the product looks from a television standpoint and a broadcast standpoint is night and day. So that's going to be probably the most glaring and dramatic improvement. Like I mentioned, I do think in the concourse, and as you move from gate to gate or entry point to entry point, we've put a real emphasis on branding and freshening up what we have and what we're honoring and proud of in the concourse. We have new banner system that's going to be put up here shortly. The Ring of Honor, which Gerald and our department announced a few weeks back, they will be honored here in the football stadium in a pretty unique way. So those things are really exciting. And then we've gone through a pretty significant upgrade in our press box and suite level tower this summer. About 10 different Sky Suites went through pretty much a complete overhaul, renovation of their suites. We freshened up all of our hallways and lobbies up in the suites, and then on the big green level, we've totally transformed the look and feel of that space, and we're offering some different things for from a food and hospitality standpoint. So it's going to look and feel much different in a lot of those areas.
I think the other item fans have been really interested to see how it's progressing, of course, is the end zone upgrades with the porch. Pretty happy with the progress there. That's going to be ready to go, obviously, by the time the Herd gets back home for its home opener. That's an exciting project there because really, when you look at the Dutch Miller deck, it truly made that side of the stadium no longer kind of look empty. If you know what I'm getting at here, it really feels like it's full of life now, and I'm imagining that's going to be the same for the porch.
Yep, we had an opportunity in the south end zone, like you said. We have a large concrete platform back there, and it was kind of dormant, and so we took the opportunity to build these porches based off a concept that we'd seen at some other schools where folks are able to kind of bring their tailgate inside. They'll have the ability to, in a supervised, professional manner, cook their own food on a griddle. It'll kind of be like their own little luxury suite for the folks that bought the individual porch areas. We're also going to have a friends and family zone down there, sponsored by GoDaddy's. That'll be an area where kids can go and play with certain games and hang out. So that area is going to look much more lively. I think it'll be really well attended and really well received. So we're really excited about that area as well.
Andrew Brown's with us. He has been getting us updated on all the upgrades going on at Jones C. Edwards Stadium. So once these projects get underway, obviously, you move on to the next facility and the next facility and the next facility. And, of course, while I've got you here before we let you go, and if there's anything else you want to touch on, outstanding job, by the way. I don't think I've talked to you about the state baseball tournament. It was top to bottom, outstanding job. And, of course, a big part of that is you and your staff and, of course, everybody involved.
Yeah, I appreciate that. We had a blast. I think that was a real success. You know, we've heard nothing but positive commentary. The WVSSAC was really pleased with how it turned out. All of the coaching staffs couldn't have been more complimentary. I think it's going to be tough to beat our venue in terms of the size and then the amenities that we offer the teams. You know, we have the softball building and the baseball building on either side of the ballpark, which allow for the teams that are playing next up to warm up in the batting cages in there. There's more than enough space for umpires and fans and club areas. I think it was a home run, no pun intended, and it was great for our community, hotels, restaurants. The place is booming, so we're thrilled that we are going to be able to continue that for the next few years.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Andrew Brown's with us. Before I let you go, Emily Suter did a fantastic job highlighting everything that's happening at the Cam Henderson Center, but I know your hands are involved in a lot of that. I'll just get a basic kind of feel from you. What are you excited about as fans have got some new places and spaces to visit and be a part of in the basketball arena?
Yep. Premium areas are the name of the game in college and probably pro athletics as well these days, pro sports. But we're just trying to take advantage of different areas that we have in our venue to provide different experiences. So where the Hartley Room, which has traditionally been a premium area for us, we're renovating that space, expanding the footprint. We're going to offer some different things in there from a food and beverage standpoint. We have a courtside lounge that'll be over by our men's basketball locker room, where you'll get a little bit of what you've seen probably in the pro and college sports scene in the past, where fans have the ability to kind of hang out in an area where they can high-five the team as they take the court or watch them run out of the tunnel. And then our sky deck area, which we unveiled last year, above the court, that area where we're going to continue to invest in that space, renovate it a little bit, and reimagine what we started last year and just continue to build on it. So a few different areas in there that'll look a lot different and have some different offerings than they have in the past. And hopefully our fan base is excited about it.
I think so. I think it's genius to do that. And, I won't put you on the spot now, but I'm curious about the rest of the spaces that you could possibly do other things with at the Henderson Center. But let you get this going first before I start hitting you with all those other questions, because those spaces are looking amazing as far as the concepts are concerned.
Yep, we're really excited about it. We'll continue to try to be innovative and find new ways to get people into the arena and support our program.
Well, let me remind everyone again, coming up on Saturday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. at Joan C. Edwards Stadium. It's called Taking Care of the House. You get an opportunity to help with a lot of projects that need help with at the stadium. There are all kinds of projects at different levels, so if there's something that is maybe a little too strenuous for you, there's something else that you can do that'll be up your alley. More details, herdzone.com. Everyone that volunteers gets a ticket to the Marshall, South Alabama game. And, of course, everything you need will be there. More questions, contact Andrew or everyone at herdzone.com. They'll get you set up. Anything I miss, Andrew, or anything you want to hit on before I let you go?
You nailed it. Thank you very much for having us.
Andrew, always a pleasure. Congratulations again on everything that's been happening so far. It's been fantastic to just watch in a short period of time some of these facilities be transformed.
Thanks very much. I appreciate it.
There you have it, Andrew Brown. We will hopefully see a large crowd show up on Saturday to help make Joan C. Edwards Stadium shine as bright as possible. Our text line, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Looking for a financial partner that puts people first? At Huntington Eyes Federal Credit Union, you're more than just an account number. You're family. Whether you're buying a car, saving for the future, or looking for a checking account that fits your lifestyle, Huntington Eyes is here to help you with friendly local service that you can trust. Stop by the main office at 481 West 8th Avenue in Huntington, or learn more online at huntingtoneyes.com. Huntington Eyes Federal Credit Union, serving our community and helping our members achieve more, one financial goal at a time. Our Kindred Communications family of stations reminds you of the need for blood donations to the Red Cross. Blood is always needed. It may save your life or the life of a loved one. This reminder is brought to you in part by
Reyes Mexican Tanqueria and Cantina. Authentic flavors from Jalisco, Mexico. 234 3rd Avenue in Gallipolis, Ohio. And 218 General Hardinger Parkway in Middleport. The Arbors at Gallipolis, caring about you while caring for you.
Summer starts here. It's the Moses Auto Mall of Huntington Ninth Street Live. Every Friday night in Huntington. Presented by Michelob Ultra, White Claw, Big Timber, and Country Boy Brewing. Friday, August 14th, it's Warner Law Office Night featuring the sounds of Cruz Avenue. The Little Caesars Kids Zone is back and Go Mart Happy Hour starts at 5. Enjoy Ninth Street Libations from the Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe, Sip Downtown Brasserie, and Summit Beer Station. Featuring Tito's, Milagro Tequila, Rebel Bourbon, High Noon, and Lucky One. The after-show party takes place at Jerks at Pullman Square. Mark your calendars for August 28th with The Chase. Sponsored by Wendy's, Huntington Beverage Center, Sods, Apex Tech, The Great Outdoors Marine, Village Caregiving, Thoroughbred Express Wash, the City of Huntington, Marshall University, Blanco Glass Company, Marshall Health Network Arena, and Kindred Communications.
Buddy's All-American Barbecue now delivers straight to your door. Wings, ribs, brisket, and more. Order online at WVBBQ.com. Great barbecue, ice-cold beer, and killer wings. All without leaving your couch. Buddy's All-American Barbecue, 3rd Avenue in Huntington.
As kids across America head to class to learn and grow, there's one school supply they absolutely cannot do without: nutritious food. Yet, right now, in the United States, millions of kids are living with hunger, making it harder to learn, to play, to dream. This is something we can't ignore. But there is an answer. When kids get healthy meals, they have greater focus, more energy, and higher grades. Kids like Ariella, who dreams of being a teacher and whose hardworking parents struggle to make ends meet. Or Victoria and Andre, whose mom wants nothing more than a great life for her kids. A life that she knows they can achieve with just a little extra help. Nothing is more important than feeding the hopes and dreams of children. To learn more about ending child hunger in America, go to helpnokidhungry.org.
In honor of all those we've lost to cancer and those still fighting and thriving, like basketball analyst and cancer champion Dick Vitale.
I want to beat cancer. I'm going to beat it. That's no doubt in my mind. I'm going to win this battle.
Defeating cancer will take all of us. Join our team to help fund game-changing research that saves lives. At the V Foundation, V is for victory over cancer. V is for victory over the odds. V is for victory over health disparities, victory over setbacks, victory over the unknown. V is for victory over giving up.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Join the V Foundation team and help save lives.
Cancer can take away all my physical abilities. It cannot touch my mind, it cannot touch my heart, and it cannot touch my soul.
Join our team in the fight against cancer at V.org.
People think saving money is hard, but really, it's easy. It's as simple as changing a few spending habits. For free tips on how to save the easy way, check out feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
Listening to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
We continue with this Wednesday edition of Your Drive. Paul Swann, your host. Thanks for being a part of it here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. My text line brought to you graciously by Clark's Pump and Shop. 304-396-TALK. That is 304-396-8255. Marshall soccer in action tomorrow. The women are on the road. The men opening up the regular season home slate. Taking on Fairfield. Thundering Herd coming in at number 17 in the poll. Taking on Fairfield tomorrow. What do we know? Well, we're going to talk to Bobby Iddings tomorrow. That game is coming up in a day, an hour, and 35 minutes as of this moment of the show. So I'm looking forward to hearing from Bobby tomorrow. Get us a preview of what we can expect from Chris Grassie's squad. First kick is set for 7:15 p.m. And, of course, that's just highlighting the beginning of a tremendous upcoming schedule that's going to eventually get into football. The Marshall women are on the road taking on High Point. High Point is 0-2. Marshall 1-0. Couldn't get that game in against Ohio. So the Thundering Herd so far undefeated, even though it is one win and one game only. I'll take it. So that is coming up tomorrow as well. As I mentioned, our text line 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Volleyball news today. Marshall University volleyball sophomore Emma Barnett named the 2026 preseason All-Sun Belt Conference team today. Came out from the league offices. A third team honor in 2025. She was really impressive. She led Marshall with 381 points and 331 kills last season. She had 20 matches of at least 10 kills, including the final 7 games of the season. So exhibition action for the Herd coming up. And I haven't got the results for that yet, but we've got exhibition action coming up against Ohio State. And as soon as we get the details, we'll pass that along. But then The green and white scrimmage is set for Saturday at 1 o'clock, and then the team will open up the regular season on August 28th. It's going to face off against Niagara and Bucknell, 1 p.m. and 7 p.m., opening up its home tournament against those two at the Cam Henderson Center. So that's a quick rundown of what's happening with the Herd. We now turn the show over to you. Our text line 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. We had Andrew Brown with us just a few minutes ago. And, of course, if you're familiar with Andrew, you know that he's really the go-to guy when it comes to the facilities, the capital projects at Marshall University. And he highlighted some of the events that are taking place across the board as far as we've got projects are in the works. And, of course, the event that we were talking about, if you just joined us, is the Saturday volunteer event called Taking Care of the House, where you can show up. It's something you can sign up for. You can show up for it as well, but if you sign up, give them a better head count, you will receive as a volunteer a ticket to the South Alabama game. But there are a lot of projects going on around Jones Seaboard Stadium, and you can put more muscle to it. You can get them done quicker and probably more efficiently just in time for the start of the season. Well, he highlighted some of the things that are happening as well with the Cam Henderson Center. And I know that I'm not going to get an answer, but I am still curious what's going to be of the space that's right outside the women's locker room. Of course, we know what the space is going to be outside the men's locker room, and it's a great space for Herd fans to hang out before the game, get to see the team take the court, high-five them, get excited, and go to your seat. So that's a great pre-game destination. Good reason to get to the Henderson Center earlier, right? You get to the game early, you can hang out in the lounge, you can cheer on the Herd, root the team on, hit to your seat, and watch the game. Now, I'm curious what might happen to some other spaces at the Henderson Center. Are there other opportunities? And, of course, you got to get these things going first with the revamp to the Hartley Room, of course, the Sky Deck, you got the Thunder tables, you've got this lounge. What would you like to see next at the Cam Henderson Center as far as some of the spaces utilized? What would be a great future addition to the Henderson Center? And you know what? Throw something in for the football stadium as well. Why not? Absolutely. What are your thoughts on what could be done with some of the other spaces at the Henderson Center, concourse especially, or just some of the areas surrounding the court? Now, you got to be careful what you can do because you got to have open areas for the other teams to come out. But could you do something there with some of that space? Could you create something? Could you have one entry point for both the men and women's teams that come? You, of course, do have their locker rooms, and then they can, of course, come to the court through one singular entry point. And then you could create something with the other space. I'm curious, thoughts, if it's even feasible, but what would you like to see at the Henderson Center and maybe even at the Joan when it comes to some facility additions? We got the porch going on right now, the south end zone, revamp of the press level, sky level, the suites, a lot of things happening. But if you were looking for something else to add to the experience or something that would be a creative space, what would you suggest? 304-396-TALK, the text line, 304-396-8255. That's just something I'm curious about. What do you think? I've got some thoughts on that as well. Nothing solid just yet, but I'd like to see some creative uses, but maybe you've got a better idea. Let's hear them on today's edition of The Drive.
Injured in a wreck? Warner Law Offices is now here for you in Huntington on 4th Avenue across from the courthouse. Personal, local, decades of experience.
Call 345-6789.
Metro Community Federal Credit Union now brings you all the tech that big banks have, but still has that personal touch of a member-owned community credit union. Apple Pay? Got it. Digital wallet? Yep. Message pay by text, online loan payments, even chatting with a real person, not a bot. Open accounts, sign documents, and manage your money all online. It's the big bank tech you need from the local community-minded credit union you trust. Metro Community FCU. Visit metrocommunityfcu.com today.
Looking for more than just a job? Build a career with CJ Hughes Construction in Huntington, West Virginia. For more than 80 years, CJ Hughes has been building the infrastructure that keeps our communities moving, and now they're looking for great people to join the team. They're hiring CDL dump truck drivers, Class A starting at $26.50 an hour and Class B at $23.50. They also have openings for heavy equipment operators, laborers, servicemen and fusion professionals, pipe layers, and flaggers with competitive pay based on your position and experience. If you're reliable, have a strong work ethic, a valid driver's license, can pass a pre-employment drug screen, have a clean background, and are willing to travel, they want to hear from you. Enjoy competitive pay, medical, dental, and vision insurance, a company match 401k, paid vacation, and opportunities to grow your career. Apply today at cjhughes.com or call 304-522-3868. That's cjhughes.com or 304-522-3868. CJ Hughes Construction, safety, quality, production.
Christopher's Eats has a brand new website. Visit Christopher'sEatsWV.com. That's Christopher'sEatsWV.com. The website may be new, but it's still the same great eats you love from Christopher's, Route 60 Huntington. Order online for pickup or delivery. Make a reservation, place a catering order, check out upcoming events, browse the latest cocktails, and see what's on tap all in one place. Christopher'sEatsWV.com. That's Christopher'sEatsWV.com. New website, same great eats.
You stepped out for your morning jog, except it's not your usual morning jog. You started listening to an epic sci-fi book on Audible. 30 chapters later, you've accidentally run a half marathon. You lost track of how far you've run, somewhere just past the city limits. You can't stop. You have to find out what happens next. Then it's over. The universe seems bigger. You feel different. You feel like you have no idea where you are. Audible. Stories that speak to you.
Save big on everything for your next project when you shop at Menards. White elastomeric roof coating stops leaks and restores flat roofs. It lowers roof temperature by reflecting heat from the sun, helping you save on energy costs. And it's easy to apply with a brush, roller, or sprayer. Shop our entire selection of roof coatings today on Menards.com. Plus, check our weekly flyer for all of the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards. Summer starts here. It's the Moses Auto Mall of Huntington Ninth Street Live every Friday night in Huntington. Presented by Michelob Ultra, White Claw, Big Timber, and Country Boy Brewing. Friday, August 14th, it's Warner Law Office Night featuring the sounds of Cruise Avenue. The Little Caesars Kids Zone is back and Go-Mart Happy Hour starts at 5. Enjoy Ninth Street Libations from the Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe, Sip Downtown Brasserie, and Summit Beer Station. Featuring Tito's, Milagro Tequila, Rebel Bourbon, High Noon, and Lucky One. The after-show party takes place at Jerks at Pullman Square. Mark your calendars for August 28th with The Chase. Sponsored by Wendy's, Huntington Beverage Center, Sods, Apex Tech, The Great Outdoors Marine, Village Caregiving, Thoroughbred Express Wash, the City of Huntington, Marshall University, Blanco Glass Company, Marshall Health Network Arena, and Kidron Communications.
This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Follow at Paul Swann on X for Marshall sports updates and more.
Final segment for today's edition of The Drive here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Our text line 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. That's the number. Be a part of today's show here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. So we'll get the text line going here in just a few minutes. Here we go. Text came in and just said, I would like to see some more on-course improvements at the Henderson Center, including more televisions across the around. I guess they're saying around the concourse area. That's That's an upgrade right there. Yeah, you'd have to put a lot of TVs in the concourse, and of course, alluding to the fact that all the games are being televised either on ESPN Plus or throughout. I don't know how feasible that would be right off the bat, just having multiple TVs. I mean, it's doable. It is doable, but is that really, because you got the radio feed going on right now, you can hear the action, and you're usually in the concourse. This is just me. I'm hanging out in the concourse. I'm going to the concession stand. I'm going to the restroom to use the facilities, or I'm getting some food, getting a beverage if I'm going to the concourse. And I get it. You want to kind of keep an eye on the action. I don't think the long lines are the thing to worry about at the Henderson Center in the concession area. But again, that could be something that you really believe in. So I appreciate that thought, though. And we'll get more of those. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255 to be a part of today's show here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Texture says, how about more kids zone fun in the concourses at the Henderson Center? I mean, that's an interesting concept. Would that be more pregame stuff, or some bouncy areas, things like that? Yeah, how open do you have to keep those concourses? Could you have something that's really, like a bounce house, things like that? That's a neat idea. I get that. I did like what they were doing a few years ago with the graphics, and I'm sure there are more concepts out there to kind of refresh some of those spaces and make sure that you come in, it just doesn't look so drab. And you saw those wall graphics and some other items that kind of really just perked it up a little bit. I mean, would you want a couple of points of sale for merchandise, like on both sides of the concourse? Would you look at that concept maybe a little bit more? Just have something a little grander in scope. Would you like to see an expanded team shop, something grander in scope, a different space for that type? Because after all, you might want to go grab a hat. Okay, hey, I don't have a shirt. And you want to go somewhere where they have a huge supply of things like that. I don't know, again, if that's, the best use of the facility. And as Andrew mentioned earlier, premium spaces are important. So, what improves the fan experience? Would having access to more team shops, more items like that, would that be something you'd look at? Different variety in concessions, obviously, that's always been talked about, and those things are year to year for fans. I knew this was coming, and I wasn't going to say it until it did come. Decent bathrooms would be a great experience. I get that. I understand it. Let me just say, in anyone's defense that has looked at that, that's an expensive undertaking. Project-wise, I speak only from personal experience because I have also had plumbing issues recently in my life. I'm still dealing with that. And so it's, on my scale, it's really eaten into the finances. And that's at my scale. That's at the personal house level scale. Now imagine what that scale would look like on a basketball arena scale. And I get it for football as well. Very pricey. Obviously, it's something that's got to be in the works, and it has to happen eventually. Yes, I get that. That would be something that hopefully down the line gets taken care of. I knew that was coming, though, but hey, I do appreciate it because, yeah, you're right. You want to come up with all kinds of experiences and spaces to make it feel good. And the texture says, and the Dutch Miller deck wasn't expensive? Yes, it was. And to your point, it did cost money. But who's footing the bill for, let's be fair. Who's footing the bill for the Dutch Miller bathroom or the Dutch Miller deck? When you're fundraising, we're building this deck. It's a premium space. The space will help pay for itself. There's revenue to be attached to it. Bathrooms. I know this is a Pandora's box we've opened up here, but for bathrooms, I mean, maybe you can get it sponsored. I don't know. I mean, I'll be okay with it. I'd be okay with the sponsorship opportunities in the bathroom. I really would. I don't know what those would be, but yes, to your point, and it's a fair point. Everything's expensive, but it's not as exciting as, hey, here's the Dutch Miller deck. Here's the deck. It's going to generate revenue, and it's going to turn over a profit, and we can pay for it, and then we can move that money towards other things. You know, with the lights, that needed to be done. That's a necessity because you got to have lights to play, and you get a donation that helps, and there's always perks behind that. I mean, it's an attractive item to donate to. Hey, I'm going to donate for the lights. It's going to have different colors. You can do things with it. It adds to the experience, right? Yeah. And then you come back with me and you say, hey, I would like to have decent bathrooms. And I get it. And at the same time, I don't know who's stepping up to donate for that. Just to overhaul those and to freshen the bathrooms up. And so maybe that's down the line. That's a capital project that has to be addressed eventually. Again, remember, at one point, the swim team was going to be a victim because it's hard to upkeep. The upkeep is hard on the swimming pool, right? I don't know the details. I'm not going to say I understand it completely, but it's expensive. Plumbing is expensive. Trust me. So I'm sort of a neutral party on this one just because I know it's expensive, and at the same time, it's something that it's on the list. It might not be moving fast enough, but it's on the list. It's got to be on the list. Let's see. Here we go. Texture says, need upgrades for all fans regardless of ticket price. Need to have bathrooms that are not in the caveman age. I donate nearly $1,000 for 3 seats on the east side plus $180 for the big green. That's a fair point. I appreciate the text there. You're looking for upgrades that enhance the experience for everyone depending. You know, you've got higher premium experiences for those who want to spend more, but for someone who spends money, buys a ticket at Jones C. Edwards Stadium or the Cam Henderson Center, they put down their money, they make donations. You want to come in, you want to have a good experience. If you want to elevate your experience, there's opportunities for you, but everybody should have, coming into the stadium, everybody should have a good experience. And I think that's the goal. And I like where the university has gone with the athletic department under A.D. Harrison. I think he's had a very productive first year. If we're talking about bathrooms in 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years from now, okay, then again, you can come back to me now and say, we've been talking about bathrooms for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years. And so what's it going to take? Is there a price point? Is there a donation level? But to the texture's point, everybody needs to feel like that they come in, they can have a good experience. And those are things that add to the experience. Was it a pleasant experience? Did I come into the Henderson Center? I had a good seat. I had a good experience. The concessions were good. Didn't matter that I wasn't paying the extra premium prices to take advantage of some of the other areas. All of that's important. And with that said, thank you for all the texts. I knew I was going to open up Pandora's box a little bit with asking about, hey, what would you see at the Henderson Center if you could upgrade? We sure did.
WRBC Huntington, W227BS Huntington, your flagship home of the Marshall Thundering Herd and The Drive with Paul Swann, ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.